God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information news update for the United States Virgin Islands, and I'm reporter DKS reporting the news for Friday, September 19th, 2025, covering the latest developments from across the United States Virgin Islands. Power and storm response. Heavy rain and fast-forming floodwaters forced territory-wide closures of schools and non-essential government services. Court shifted urgent matters to remote handling, while transportation and public works crews cleared debris, assessed culverts, and restored access. Police urged drivers to avoid water-covered streets and never move barricades, noting that even familiar shortcuts can hide open manholes, downed lines, and undermined pavement. Why it matters. Quick, coordinated decisions save lives and reduce costly rescues during peak runoff, especially when storms arrive in waves. Grid strain, repairs, and the push for resilience. Residents on St. Thomas and St. John endured rotating blackouts after multiple generators went down amid maintenance backlogs and weather-related damage. Utility leaders approved contracts for plant security, waterline rehabilitation, and other upgrades, and a repaired unit has been brought back online to stabilize capacity. The message to customers: near-term fixes are underway, but long-term reliability depends on disciplined maintenance and diversified energy. In that spirit, the government secured more than $3 million to install solar systems on public buildings, cutting costs over time and easing pressure on the grid. Questions for the community. What mix of rooftop solar, battery storage, and distributed generation can meaningfully reduce outage minutes? Should performance benchmarks trigger automatic oversight if reliability slips? Why it matters. Dependable power underpins healthcare, commerce, refrigeration, and public safety. Hospitals. Building back while balancing the books hospital. Leaders reported progress on reconstruction, from the Myra Keating Smith Clinic to district-wide program management, while warning that delayed allotments and vendor payments are straining operations. A specialized oncology facility will open slightly later than planned but remains within its budget, with priority on bringing advanced diagnostics home to the territory. Meanwhile, rising government health insurance costs have officials weighing alternative models and stronger prevention programs to blunt chronic care expenses. Community considerations. Would a working capital reserve cushion hospitals during cash flow dips? Which partnerships could expand specialty care now before new spaces are fully built? Why it matters. Bricks and mortar do little without sustained staffing and predictable funding. Public health alert on St. Croix. 2 new dengue infections prompted a territorial advisory. Residents are urged to tip, toss, and cover to eliminate standing water, use Environmental Protection Agency registered repellents, and seek care for symptoms such as high fever, eye pain, and severe body aches. Why it matters. Targeted prevention today prevents a surge tomorrow, keeping clinics and emergency rooms from being overwhelmed. Budget, borrowing, and the big picture. Lawmakers passed a $1.7 billion spending plan tied to steady tax collections and federally funded recovery work. In a parallel move, the legislature extended a $150 million line of credit to 2035, praised by some as a cash flow backstop and criticized by others as a costly habit. Points to watch: monthly revenue actuals versus projections, clear rules for future drawdowns, and building a rainy day fund that reduces reliance on short-term borrowing. Why it matters. Choices made now shape which services get paid on time and how quickly infrastructure shows real progress. Consumer and community alerts. Authorities warned of viral scams, including a bogus online casino promotion that misused official insignia, spoofed payment notices for minor offenses, and fake school closure posts. The guidance is simple. Verify on official channels and never share personal information through suspicious links. After recent storms, the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs also cautioned against unlicensed contractor schemes. Insist on written contracts, proof of licensing and insurance, and multiple estimates. Why it matters. Fraud drains household savings and erodes trust in real emergency messages. Public safety updates. Police on St. Croix are investigating a non-fatal shooting in Christiansted. The victim is stable as detectives pursue leads. On St. Thomas, officers arrested a suspect tied to a June robbery following an investigation and court-issued warrant. In the courts, a high-profile jewelry heist homicide case moves toward trial, while other violent crime cases advance. Separate from criminal proceedings, a grieving family continues to seek clearer communication from authorities following a fatal police encounter earlier this year. Why it matters. Timely arrests, transparent investigations, and steady court progress reinforce the rule of law in close-knit communities. Civic access and digital inclusion. The election system launched Election Stats, a public data tool that consolidates results and turnout trends to improve transparency and civic literacy. In a complementary step toward equity, the administration rolled out a digital navigator program that trains local guides to help residents secure affordable internet, acquire devices, and build essential skills for telehealth, job searches, and public services. Questions ahead. How should privacy be protected in precinct-level data? How will success be measured for digital inclusion? Why it matters. Access to trustworthy information and the tools to use it are now baseline requirements for full participation in modern life. Ports, schools, waste services, and parks. The Port Authority approved increases to marine fees covering dockage, wharfage, and pilotage to fund dredging, pier repairs, security, and modernizations that keep commerce and cruise operations competitive. Senators, meanwhile, debated a bill to dedicate a steady stream of funding to long-deferred school maintenance, from roofs and plumbing to air conditioning and safety systems, with emphasis on oversight and transparent project priorities. The Waste Management Authority announced a holiday schedule with adjusted pickup days and shortened landfill hours. Residents are asked to secure bins and confirm their island's timetable. At Maggins Bay, park overseers expect to announce a new board member soon, with attention on governance continuity and public input. Why it matters. These nuts and bolts decisions shape daily life. What we pay for goods, how our children learn, how clean our neighborhoods stay, and how treasured public spaces are cared for. Environment and coastal resilience. The University of the Virgin Islands secured federal support for a study of nature-based coastal defenses, restoring mangroves, reefs, and seagrass to reduce erosion, tame storm surge, and protect biodiversity. The work will guide planners towards solutions that complement rather than compete with the shoreline's living systems. Why it matters. In an era of rising seas and stronger storms, green infrastructure can protect homes and livelihoods while strengthening fisheries and tourism. Agriculture and food security. A local agricultural group pledged to continue supporting farmers despite cuts to a federal assistance program, pivoting to alternative resources and community-level resilience. Questions for the road ahead. How can the territory reduce dependence on imported food, and what mix of training, microgrants, and market access will help local producers thrive? Why it matters. Food security is both economic strategy and cultural preservation for island communities. Business and tourism. A floating restaurant concept won legislative support to operate in Lindbergh Bay under conditions that protect seagrass, manage waste, and limit noise. Proponents say it will add a distinctive attraction and modest job creation while dispersing visitor spending beyond traditional corridors. Why it matters. Thoughtfully managed ventures can diversify the economy without sacrificing nearshore habitats that make the destination special. Disability inclusion. A new coalition led by an academic center is expanding resources for residents with disabilities through free training, language classes, early intervention support, and sensitivity workshops, connecting people with peers and decision makers and elevating accessibility across public spaces. Why it matters. Inclusive communities unlock the contributions of every neighbor. Journalism and civic culture. A major celebration of investigative reporting honored figures with deep ties to the Virgin Islands alongside storytellers who bring journalism's role to life on screen, with proceeds supporting training for the next generation. Why it matters. Strong journalism strengthens accountability and informs self-government. Emergency services, new strength in the ranks. 13 newly minted firefighter emergency medical technicians graduated from a 20-week academy on St. Croix and will be assigned across the territory. Their dual training in firefighting, hazardous materials, vehicle extrication, and emergency medical care will bolster response times and provide relief to veteran crews. A forward-looking idea: could a junior cadet track in high schools build a long-term pipeline of first responders? Why it matters. When disaster strikes, training and staffing make the difference. Banking and civil liberties. A former territorial lawmaker says a national bank closed personal accounts, raising questions about how institutions weigh risk, past legal issues, and federal directives meant to prevent discriminatory debanking. Appeals have been filed with oversight bodies as the broader debate continues. What safeguards ensure fair access to essential financial services while allowing banks to manage legitimate risks? Why it matters. Basic banking access underlies participation in the economy and civic life. These and other issues are of great concern within the islands. What do you think are some good solutions? Let us know your thoughts by texting your comments to 1-315-898-1449. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, weather, and other insightful information delivered right to your smartphone. To join, text JOIN to 1-315-898-1449. Please include your name in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, DKS, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, DKS and DGH, together we dream kindly, speak deeply, and give hope, because on DGHradio.com, the news never sleeps. Goodbye for now. Ciao.